Welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from the world of sports, and there's plenty of action coming your way. We may be heading for a Barcelona derby at the Copa del Rey final as both city teams get good results in the first leg of the semi-final. The NBA All-Star Weekend is just around the corner, and preparations are ongoing in Rio as the Olympics quickly approach. All this and much more coming up right now. We begin in Spain, where it was time for the first leg of the Cup semi-finals. Barcelona are now the clear favorites to win the title, but first they have to go past Villarreal. The Yellow Submarine won 3 of their last 4 league matches. Their only loss was in the Camp Nou, but it only came after they put Barcelona through some very hard time. They led twice back then before going down 3-2. This time in the same venue, it started differently. Leo Messi put the Blaugranas up front late in the first half, and just before the break, the visitors reacted. What a shot by Mano Trigueros. Ter Stegen at goal should have done better, but it slips in. 1-0 at halftime. Right after the break, Barca pressed forward and were quickly rewarded. Andres Iniesta scores 5 minutes into the second half. And later on, the corner kick comes in from the right, and Gerard Piqué rises high above his defender to make it 3-1. This result puts Barcelona in a comfortable position ahead of the second leg at the Madrigal. It could have been even better. They were awarded with a penalty after the handball in the area. Neymar took it this time, only for his shot to be saved. 3-1 was the final score. The second team from Barcelona, Espanyol, traveled to Bilbao with the hope of getting a good result before they host the second leg. The whole team started better and were quick to score. 11 minutes go by, and what a touch by Aritz Aduriz. The perfect chip puts Bilbao up front. And if you thought that was nice, look at the response. Victor Sanchez with a superb shot from outside the area ties the score. There were no more goals, but plenty of more chances. Still in the first half, Iker Muniain's shot for Bilbao goes wide. After the break, Espanyol was very close to getting a second precious away goal, but Victor Alvarez heads it straight to the post. 1-0 means everything is still open ahead of the second leg. Now to the midweek action in the Premier League, where Chelsea were hoping to keep their 7-point lead at the top over Manchester City. It was very hard. Chelsea dominated the match against Everton. The Blues had possession, created chances, but for 89 long minutes just could not find the space. And then, just as it seemed will be no goals in Stamford Bridge, Willian saved the day for the home team. His shot beats Tim Howard at the Everton goal, and manager Jose Mourinho has no problem with the fact that he had to wait for 89 minutes for the winner.
I don't remember a team to be champion without a couple of victories in the last minute. In my case, for sure. Every time I won a league title, I had a couple of matches where we won in the last minute.
Willian's goal was obviously bad news for Manchester City. The good news for the citizens were that after 4 matches, they're back to winning ways, and Kun Aguero is back to scoring. The Argentine striker, who was sidelined for over a month due to injury and not scored since early December, more than 2 months later, he did it twice in Stoke. James Milner and Samir Nasri added 1 each. City wins 4-1, and manager Manuel Pellegrini is just happy to see his team finally perform the way he wants them to.
No, we're not thinking about Chelsea. Of course, the lost point is good for us, but the first thing for our team is to recover the sensation of a good team, of a solid team, and that was the target for today, and we did.
And while there's no change at the top, there is a change in the very intense battle right below the leading duo. Manchester United beat Burnley 3-1 at Old Trafford, and they're now up to third, as Southampton's home match against West Ham ends in a goalless draw. The Saints are down to fourth. Crystal Palace and Newcastle part ways in a 1-1 draw, and West Brom take 3 valuable points in the fight against relegation as they beat Swansea 2-0. Aston Villa lost in the previous night 2-0 to Hull City, a loss that sent them to relegation zone and was the last match in the club for manager Paul Lambert. Villa's 7th loss in 10 games, a run in which they have collected 3 points and scored only 2 goals, prompted fans to call for Lambert to be sacked. Villa's tally of 12 goals is the lowest by far of any side in the top 4 divisions of English football. There is no new manager yet. First-team coach Scott Marshall and goalkeeping coach Andy Marshall will prepare the squad for Sunday's FA Cup tie against Leicester at Villa Park. Now to the NBA, where the Wizards traveled to Canada to face the Raptors. The Canadians are enjoying a very strong season. They're second best in the East so far, but the visitors from DC were ready for the challenge. The game was very close all along. The Raptors led by 2 at halftime, and no team managed a big run in the third quarter either. The Wizards came into the final 12 minutes up by a point, meaning we were up for a very tense final quarter. Toronto did the damage from outside. Vasquez and Williams combined for a 7 of 13 shooting night from downtown. But the Wizards have some good shooters of their own. Paul Pierce ties the game at 89. We already mentioned the outside shooting. Here it comes again. Williams does it on one side. John Wall comes up with the answer on the other, and we're tied at 93. 13 seconds to go, and DeMar DeRozan puts Toronto up front. One final possession for the Wizards with a chance to tie or win, but John Wall misses the three. The Raptors win 95-93. And the NBA will now take a short break for the traditional All-Star weekend, this time in the Big Apple, New York City. The big names in the league will be there. For some, it's the first time. Some others were already back here in the 20th century. And there's so much to look for. Michael Friedman gets us ready.
The All-Star weekend is coming up, and some of the big names are going to play in the Big Apple on Sunday. The 64th edition will be hosted by both the New York teams, the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets. Many of the superstars will be back again at the All-Star weekend, including LeBron James, there's also Carmelo Anthony and Kyrie Irving from the Eastern Conference. And from the West, we have the talented Stephen Curry, Chris Paul, and the famous Tony Parker stepping back onto the court. But the game is just one aspect of the weekend. Many events are held in the action-packed affair, including the three-point contest, the Celebrity All-Star Game, and the exciting Slam Dunk Contest. Fans will be going to New York and tuning in around their televisions in hope of witnessing a glimpse of magic. And for some of these players, it is the signature to a long and prosperous career. Tim Duncan will be playing in his 15th All-Star weekend, joining Shaquille O'Neal and Kevin Garnett in the 15-time All-Star Club. Only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has gone 19 times and Kobe Bryant with 17 appearances. As injuries are an inevitable part of the game, unfortunately some of the top players will be missing, including Kobe Bryant and Blake Griffin. Kobe has undergone shoulder surgery and will be out the rest of the season, while Griffin has a staph infection in his right elbow and will be sidelined at least through the All-Star break.
Lillard out front. Millsap takes his seat.
With those players out due to injury, young guns like Portland Trailblazers guard Damian Lillard have stepped in for the Western Conference team. This will be Lillard's second All-Star appearance, the player who has been a valuable asset to his Portland team. And with the playoffs in sight, each of the teams around the league will need to step up their game. The NBA break provides great entertainment and a time for the best players in the NBA to come together and show off their skills.
For six, another turnover. Brandon Knight with a throw.
So what will this weekend of basketball bring? Surely big dunks, celebrities, and a whole lot of family fun.
It's good. 2.4 on the clock.
Still in America with a rather strange story coming from Little League Baseball. It may be called Little League, but there is big interest in it, and last year when the Chicago-based team became the first all-black contingent to win the U.S. Little League Baseball Championship, they were even welcomed at the White House by President Barack Obama. Unfortunately, Little League rules set a geographical area, meaning only players who live within its boundaries can play in the team. And when league officials heard that the team brought players from other districts of Illinois outside those of their boundaries, they stripped the team from their title, promoting angry responses from players' parents.
What would you rather happen, Little League, for them to be killed on the streets of Chicago? The boys had no inside dealings or willings on any borders or boundaries. I, as a mother, had no idea that there were boundaries and that there were rules beyond living in the city of Chicago.
Another major headline in America this week was the death of legendary college basketball coach Dean Smith. Across the Atlantic in the UK, the press spoke of the charity work David Beckham is doing, and Liverpool was also involved in charity this week. These stories and more in Michael Friedman's Press Review.
We begin this week's press review with the sad news of a basketball legend passing away. Yahoo Sports headlines read, iconic North Carolina coach Dean Smith dies at 83. The former UNC coach is considered a true legend in college basketball and won a total of 879 games. He was also inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And superstar Michael Jordan, and former player for Smith, was especially saddened by the news. Jordan used Twitter to say thank you and said Dean Smith was more than a coach. He was a mentor, my teacher, my second father. Coach was always there for me whenever I needed him, and I loved him for it. The man who touched the lives of everyone in the basketball world will be truly missed. And next, we go to football, where David Beckham is seen helping once again. The Guardian headline said, David Beckham is UNICEF's lucky number 7 with new fund to protect children. The project is called 7 as this was the number he wore when he played for the country and Manchester United. The former England international is celebrating his 10th anniversary as a Goodwill ambassador for his UNICEF, and he is very proud to take this role. Take a listen.
When people turn around to me and say, what's the great thing about being David Beckham? It's exactly this situation. I can help people, I can help children, I can help UNICEF protect children around the world, and it's the reason why we're doing this.
Staying with the theme of giving, the Daily Mail headlines read, Liverpool wear special one-off kit for Tottenham match in support of charity. While the big storyline was Mario Balotelli's late winner for the Reds, it was especially nice to see the team showing their support for the Seeing is Believing organization. This was the 4th consecutive year the club joined up with the charity. And even better, after the win, 5 of the Liverpool jerseys were signed by players and put onto a week-long eBay auction to help raise money for the charity. And lastly, we finished with the Bleacher Report, headlines which read, American women vote Arsenal's Olivier Giroud the Premier League's hottest player. The Irish bookmaker Paddy Power conducted a poll by asking women in the States which stars they fancied most. Take a listen to the hilarious thank you speech.
First, I would like to thank my parents for making me this way.
Humble, like that.
Then all my team, my barber, my fake tanner, my Botox technician.
Buttocks? Oh, Botox.
My makeup artist, my tailor, and not forgetting my selfie taker.
That's so sweet.
And of course, my waxer.
Oh, Spina!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, if he's not going to win the Premier League this season, it's a nice consolation prize. That's all for this week's press review.
Sexy man Olivier Giroud. Olympic news now, and with just a year and a half to go until the Rio Games, preparations are in full swing on all fronts. Not only construction deadlines worry their organizers, so do security concerns. Rio is an unsafe city on a normal day, and the high-profile games may attract even more danger factors. In order to be prepared for any scenario, security forces simulated the rescue of hostages held in a bus transfer point in Barra de Tijuca, close to the Olympic facilities. Some 60 security personnel took part in the drill, and according to the people on site, it was very successful.
It was excellent. I think we performed excellently. It was a drill with 10 hostages and 5 kidnappers, and we tested our communications among the security forces, the place where we had to operate, protective places, and how to enter the station.
So the organizers can be happy with a security deal, but they have to be extremely concerned with environmental issues just around the site of the Olympic Village. The Barra Lagoon complex surrounds the Olympic Park, and this is what it looks like. Dirt and rubbish are seen all over the small lake, accompanied by terrible smells. A substantial $250 million budget was approved to clean the lagoon as part of the environmental legacy of the 2016 Games, but a conflict with the Public Prosecutor's Office has paralyzed the project for the past 7 months. Local environmentalists say that works have to resume soon, before it's too late.
The lagoon cannot wait anymore. It's necessary to take a decision. I have the resources. The company was already bid. I'm ready to give orders to start the work, and I have the hope today to open a way that allows me to do that.
Plenty of work ahead for the organizers. The athletes also have to do their preparations. One of them did it this week in New York's Times Square.
Let's welcome the world's fastest man, Usain Bolt!
Usain Bolt may be used to the Jamaican sunshine, but the 100 and 200 meter world record holder still braved the cold at a promotional event launching a new running shoe. Bolt, as you can expect, made his trademark move and then spoke of his love for the Big Apple, the place where he first set his 100-meter world record back in 2008.
It's always just great to be back here in New York. First time I broke my world record in front of many people, in front of a lot of Jamaicans also. So for me, I know there's a lot of Jamaicans here, so it's always just a special place to come back to, our family here and everything, so it's always just wonderful.
Always a show when he's around. That's it for us today. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv, also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.